You soft cock, Tate. Back in there, Tate.
Come on, McCreary! An unlikely hero.
I don't think he's going to get it.
Oh, don't be fucking negative.
I know it's too hard for him.
Oh,
It's all right. It's all right. Get it in there.
It's not coming back.
And welcome back to Left, Right and Somewhere in Between. It's the grand final edition. This is Freddie here. Pants, how are you?
How you going, boys?
The coach.
How you going?
And Ada.
Oh, yeah, we got a camera. We've got somewhere to look into.
Yeah, it's true.
I've got to remember to keep looking up.
It's an advantage, mate.
For the few of you that have listened to us, this is what we look like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You may notice...
Today with makeup on anyway.
Mate, what? Hang on.
What the fuck are you doing, coach?
You're an idiot.
Why aren't you wearing your fucking colours, mate?
I'm Collingwood on the inside.
Oh,
Fucking
I'm
hell.
going to make you fucking black and white. So, boys, it's look. It's obviously it's the coach's special day, so to speak. It's the grand final day of the AFL, and unfortunately, the Pies got beat last week. But this week with the grand final, it's the Swans v the Cats. Now, boys, before we start, I need to know who have you guys got for the win, because there's got to be some bets put on, surely.
I don't want the Cats to win, but I reckon they will. I reckon it'll be
Why?
close. I reckon it'll be close. I reckon it'll be very close. I reckon the Swans. Now we're going to start delving into some stats now. We're going to start, or just rolling off who I reckon's going to win.
Tell me who's
I just
going to win.
the Cats have been brilliant in defence all year. They've changed their structure from last year, but they've got run and gun as well. So they've got a really good mix, and they play well as a team. In that sense, Swans are they number one for pressure. So that's going to combat whatever the Geelong does. But Geelong's done it for longer. They've got more experienced players playing that game style. And I just reckon if it's close, and one key thing that I learnt this morning was Geelong have rested their players through every single game better than any other club. So they have used all their interchanges. They've rested all their superstars more than anyone. So if it's even towards the end of the third quarter or start of the last, the Cats should run away with it at the end.
Okay.
So the Cats, in short,
Yeah,
yep.
fuck,
Yeah,
well,
right,
that took
okay.
a fucking time, didn't it?
I think I said that at the
How's that for an
start.
analysis?
Did I not?
Anyway, let's wrap it up now.
So, Ada, who do you reckon will get up today?
My tip for the day is the Pies. I reckon the Pies will get up.
Do you want to give an analysis
If
to that?
only we
I'd like them to get up, but
Yeah, they're having
Quite frankly-
a training session out at AIA Stadium.
They
and I
are
reckon
too.
they'll get up.
well, we wouldn't be here today recording this if the Pies were playing. So
Exactly.
Well, that's true. We will be doing this from the MCG.
So no, seriously, the Cats. Everything that Mark said, he's right. Yeah.
yeah.
And the coach, you've got the valid opinion. Please give us your
This'll be
point of view.
I think if Dangerfield gets up
He's
and has
got
a
fucking
really
no
great
idea,
game,
this guy.
He's the key.
I'm telling you now, Dangerfield, if he gets up and has a great game, I think it's the Cats, but I'm going for the Swans.
Is he a Norm Smith? Your tip for the Norm Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the Norm Smith is?
Yes, thank you. Fucker.
What about
So,
you,
boys-
Freddie boy? What are you saying?
I think from a financial perspective with the bets, I reckon the Cats are a safe bet. But I think we never turned down on the Swans. We thought that we would run over, well, not necessarily run over, but we definitely beat the Swans, and they counted every single move that we had. So. I'm sure Horse has got an amazing ability, as does our own coach here, have the ability to analyse and understand the game, and I'm sure he'll counteract anything that Cats throw their way. But like I said, from a financial bets perspective, go the Cats.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping the Swans can prove me wrong. So, boys, I guess with this. Let's talk about the year that's passed. Not Geelong and obviously Sydney, because they've still got the game to go today. But let's talk about how highs and lows. Obviously we are all Collingwood fans, and there's been a lot of highs and lows for us this year. But over the years, boys, give us a couple of points of what you think.
We lost a
highs
few
and lows
coaches this year. We lost GWS, lost Leon Cameron.
Hang on, when you say lost,
Oh, they didn't lose him.
correct?
They sacked him.
Yeah, correct.
He knows where he is.
Pretty sure there's no search warrant out for that man.
He's gone. Kangaroos lost their coach.
And they'll lose another one.
And they potentially lose another
Same
one.
with the Lions.
All from the family
Watch this
club.
space.
So, and who else did we lose as coaches? I don't think anyone else this year yet. They re-signed out at Saints.
Yep.
But, the coach's perspective, was it Ken Kingsley's been appointed GWS, and they are saying Adam Uzaid Essendon. Sorry, Essendon lost their coach too.
Yeah.
So some big name changes.
even
Clarkson
heard.
took over at Kangaroos.
So you don't think so? Hurdy's off the table, is he? What's the? I heard
Tippy Zuze's
I heard that
Heard.
Hurd pulled out of the running because they wouldn't upgrade the facilities and put a safe injecting room. So Hurdy's apparently pulled
Don't
out of the
upset
running.
our Essendon supporters.
Yeah, that's true. They'll turn off right
There's a
about
lot
now.
of them.
Turning off right about now.
Mark, we're wearing Collingwood jumpers. We don't need to say anything. I think we've upset everyone anyway.
But how about from a obviously the generation of the Tigers, for example, I think has come to an end.
Yeah.
With the loss of multiple premiership winning players that they had, the experienced veterans that sort of dragged them along the line as what we saw. But the game is obviously always going to lose some quality players across the board. From Collingwood's perspective, we may even lose Howie. He's an aged veteran that obviously we thank him for his services, but at some point the young pups have got to jump up and the old lions have got to climb their way back down. But
has he announced that he's stepping down or retiring, or is it? Because I think it'd be a great thing for him to stay on and play, only a few games during the year just to help the young blokes understand the game.
We're not a fucking charity, boys.
Yeah, the word is that he wanted to pull the pin and they've asked him to go one more year.
Yeah. That makes
the
sense.
word.
I don't see it makes sense, but anyway. That's
I'm not a coach. But they may even just nurture him through and give him 3 games and then a rest and 4 games and a rest and allow him to at least let his body rest so he can get through the year.
I was going to say, but with the ageing body, Howie's had a few knee issues in the past.
Yeah,
that
hamstrings.
something could just end his career.
Look, at the end of the day, it'll be his choice. I think if he decides to retire,
I think it's the club's choice to
They could
totally
convince
honest.
him.
I think if he says I'm not playing anymore, I don't think they've got much say in it.
Oh, well, that's true, but I think at that point the club would say, "We agree with you, Howie. Here's the door. Let us guide you."
Or he'll say, "See you later. I'm going."
Stick it up your ass.
Either way, the club will have a final say. But also with the likes of North Melbourne, what happens with them?
Oh, it's such an interesting
What happens with North Melbourne?
situation, isn't it?
Before you go to that, though, can we just recognise, though, that the coach of the year?
Yes. Fly,
We've
Greg
talked about
McRae.
coaches. Let's just recognise that this guy's come along. He's obviously had a bit of a background in football with winning premierships with Brisbane and then being a part of the coaching team at Richmond. And he's come along and he's taken them from 17th to a preliminary final, and he won the Coaches Award. I think it's amazing.
What I think is comical, all at once it was announced, the haters all came out and were like, "Oh, but he was given a great list, That's why everyone was tipping us finishing last. Is that right? Is that why we all
and
they
it's
tipped
pretty
us
much
to finish
the
last?
same list that Buckley had.
Yeah,
and
right.
they're all coming out going, "Oh, what about the fucking premiership coaches or the grand final coaches? Why aren't they?" Well, they've been successful for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Alistair Clarkson, in his 4 premierships,
Never
won once Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
Never. Not
because
once.
he's a prick.
And he's racist.
Allegedly.
I'm calling it out there.
It's
I'm calling it out there.
allegedly.
He's racist.
Allegedly.
So it doesn't always have to be the premiership team coaches who are coaches of the year.
Not at all.
Buckley won it
based off
once.
performance, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then taking a team from nowhere and then into a prelim or something like that is reward enough for what they've done.
But so the question then becomes, so what happens? So obviously he set a high mark for himself being a first-year coach and getting to the heights that they have got to. But what happens next year? Let's say what happens if something drastic happens and they don't even make finals? What do we say then?
Well, I think he's going to be
nothing.
tested, isn't he?
Then he doesn't win Coach of the Year.
They take it off him.
So I guess it's all into interpretation. Like what does the Coach of the Year present, or what does it stand for? What is it? How is it judged?
How do they measure how you become
and
coach
who
of the year?
who judges that? Like we've experienced.
I
with
think
the
it's all the
MRP.
other coaches and all the assistant coaches. They all
we've
judge.
experienced with the MRP though that there's this. It's all based on interpretation. The same event happens in 2 different situations. One gets treated different to the other. So,
but in saying that, you have a look at what he's done this year, and it's quite incredible. So you can see why they voted him. I mean, you can talk about the criteria, and there is probably a criteria, as you said.
There is,
right? But what an amazing turnaround for the club.
And just another point.
and a ripping bloke.
It is voted by the other coaches too.
The coaches and the assistant coaches vote him.
Yeah. So that's all fair, well and good, but at the same time, it's all yeah, it's all based on interpretation. Like if you,
It's all based on opinion, and it's an opinion-based
that's-
industry, same as all the
true.
journos and same as everything else.
That's true.
I like it though because it's voted by your peers, not by the media,
Yeah.
not by
Yeah.
anyone else. It's by the peers,
Yeah.
and that's important.
That's why the MVP, the AFL MVP awards, so
Yeah.
prestigious.
Yeah,
Yeah, I won a couple of those.
Not for the AFL.
in his bedroom.
Let's go back to the Alistair Clarkson.
Yeah, sorry, let's go back to that,
Fagan
yeah.
situation. What an interesting scenario now for North Melbourne, who have finally secured one of the best coaches of the modern era, four-time
Well,
premiership
he
coach.
hasn't won a coach of the year. So how's
No, he hasn't won coach of the year.
so
either.
how's he that?
I'd rather win a premiership than a coach of the year award,
Oh.
just between you and me. And they finally lured him for whatever it is they're going to pay him, which is a lot of money. Players have started saying they want to go to the Kangaroos now, and now this has come out.
So who said that? Who said they want to go to the Kangaroos?
2 players from Freo have announced they want to go to
okay.
the.
Neither of
North
them are
Melbourne.
Indigenous, obviously.
Yeah, correct. Correct. Because if they were, they'd probably stay in Fremantle.
Terrible.
But continue.
But so how this will unravel, and both coaches claim they're innocent, and you have to believe them until proven otherwise. Both claim that they are good club people, have never been involved in anything like this. So we have to take on
why
what they
do
say.
we have to believe them? Isn't there 20 people that have said, yeah, they're fucking racist?
No, No.
There's still allegations.
They're only alleged.
And a further investigation needs to
right.
take place.
That's right.
So I think when that happens,
Well, hang on. When Collingwood did that, there were allegations, but everyone fucking got on that shit boat, didn't they?
Yeah,
Well, you know,
So same goes,
Yeah.
tar with the same
Nah.
brush, mate.
Well, you know how that works, though. When you're Collingwood,
we sell newspapers.
Everyone hates you, and you get buried before you get a chance to
So,
prove anything.
so they also get buried until they get a chance to prove something, and then
Yeah,
if
but
they
they're
do,
not,
then
they're not selling newspapers.
Well,
well, they are actually.
Are
let
they
me ask
really?
you. Let me ask you
Yeah,
this
100%
question.
they
Let me ask you this question. When you heard the news that Clarko had done that, what were your thoughts?
Oh, you instantly go to guilty.
Strip him of the premiership.
You instantly go to guilty.
Because in the
And
years
that's
that
just-
they were alleged to be racist, strip him of the premiership.
But is it instantly guilty based on his character? Or
No, based on what you hear through
what
the
you
media
hear?
and the way they
'Cause for
sell
me,
it,
it's
and it's
based on
wrong.
his character because he looks like the kind of
Oh,
person.
you really think so?
I don't. Probably shouldn't be judging, but I reckon.
no, 100%. We can judge whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
Well, we can, but I believe you're innocent until proven guilty. At the moment, some people have come out, they've said some things, and they may be true.
Yeah.
They may be true. But we have to investigate further and find out.
Do it?
Well, of course we do.
Why do we?
So you're saying I can just say anything about you and it's true?
100%. We said that in a couple episodes ago. That's what freedom of speech. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Okay.
And
yeah,
whatever
freedom of-
happens. So
freedom of
what's-
speech is one thing, but these are allegations about something that could create.
I could make allegations of you being a homosexual. Whether or not they're true or not is totally
You'd
irrelevant.
like that, though, wouldn't you?
Well, I think everyone on the camera can see that I'm fucking correct. But yeah, it's once again, you know, we can say whatever the fuck we want to say. Yeah, and whenever that shit comes out, then by all means, Clarko and Fagan can fucking try.
I
And
don't know that we
defend
can
themselves
say
to that.
whatever we want. I think if you listen to the media, they always use the word alleged, and the reason for that is that
'Cause they're
if-
pussies.
no, because if they don't,
they're
they
out.
can be
Yeah.
sued. They can be
Yeah,
sued for
correct, they
defamation.
Can they? 100% they can.
So that's what they say. And at the end of the day, it is an allegation. It's not a fact until proven so.
But once again, it's not a fact till proven so for any of the situations that occurred.
No.
When Collingwood did it, when Adelaide did it, but still, like people can write books about that shit and have it in text, and it's been distributed nationwide or internationally, even if you want to buy it online. And that book specifically states that there were racial activities being conducted in preseason functions
at the football club.
at the football club. So for someone to be able to say that, then and obviously
There would
they
have
were-
to be
they were
some
in it.
validity in it,
Yeah, 100%.
otherwise they would be. It's very dangerous.
Like
to state
I think you know we've had there are two sides to this coin. The first one is with Collingwood's specific situation where Harry O made the allegations of Buckley.
Heretier.
Yeah, whatever he's
Heretier
fucking- I can't say
Lumumba.
his name, so I'll refer to him as I know him.
Harry O.
Harry O. So he makes the allegations against Buckley and the club to say racism activities and blah 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 blah, and then but at the end of it, there's nothing that was found as guilty, yet the dirt still sticks to the club, right? Because of the report that the club did on their own back, the club did, and found all these allegations, whatever, but still the dirt still sticks. Same with Adelaide. Adelaide did the same thing on the back of old mate's book. what's his
Eddie
name?
Betts.
Eddie
Eddie
Betts'
Betts.
book. And, you know, there was dirt thrown at the club and all the personnel and everything else. But still, there's no recourse on that. The information's out there and it is what it is.
What they get away with is to say, I think person X is this because of this is what's happened, but it's only alleged.
Yeah.
And they get away with saying the word alleged.
Yeah.
And instantly people go, oh, geez, if he said it, then he must know something,
backdoor.
even though he said alleged. That's so he doesn't get sued or doesn't get taken.
It's a backdoor.
And they're out. And no matter what, and you're right, it sticks. Because the first thing someone thinks of the Addo Football Club, they had that pre-season thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then
The dirty dogs.
And Wayne Carey, he was da-da-da-da with Steve-O's wife.
Ibuprofen.
Whatever it's called. And they're the things you think of. You don't think of Adelaide's done probably 7,000,000 really good things in the community over there. You don't think of that. You think of the shit that's stuck.
Yeah, correct.
So that's the real downside of how
they're the lows,
this industry runs.
Yeah, the lows of the
and humanity, because instantly we think of the negativity that's attached to whatever's been said.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up and let's change and let's talk about a couple of things that have occurred throughout the year. The Brownlow winner, Cripper.
Yeah,
Me too. I don't want to talk about Carlton at all.
but in saying that, he's been carrying that club for many years.
Absolutely.
And I think he's been rewarded for his efforts.
When you see him walk haunched over, that's because he's carrying
and his
22 blokes.
his
on
knees
his
are all
back.
fucked out.
Poor bastard.
So,
but his speech was brilliant. His next morning hungover speech on the radio was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Ripper Blake just playing for the wrong club.
I was about to say, Mark, never heard you speak about anything Carlton like that ever before in my life.
Yeah, I know. It fucking makes me sick.
No, it's good. It's very,
But he's just playing for the wrong club.
Yeah.
He could be playing for anyone else, and I'd be really happy for him.
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to WA.
To Perth.
To
finish up.
Play with the Eagles or play for the Freo and get paid squillions by them, but still be home and flogging his cock, doing whatever he wants to do.
Well, I think it is lucrative when you play for Vizzy.
Especially if you don't know where the head office is. Yeah. Anyway, Jody, how you going, buddy? Teams this year that disappointed. Richmond.
Collingwood.
I reckon Richmond
Collingwood
disappointed.
disappointed me.
Western Bulldogs
Should have fucking
disappointed.
got up.
Essendon disappointed.
Essendon, nah, because I'm happy they're shit.
I know,
I'm sure that off last year that you would have thought this year that they would have done much better or at least equal to, but they just fell apart.
North Melbourne concerns me, and the reason I say that is they're a heritage club, right?
Yeah.
They're a club of our vintage, of Collingwood's vintage, and for them to dismally fail as they did this year,
But consistently.
it's sort of it's annoying, and I feel for the what do they call them? The shin boners.
The shin boners,
I feel for them because they are passionate people, just like Collingwood people, I guess. They are out in the rain, in the weather, on the fence where everyone should be sitting. Like it's just it's a killer, and to have the team break their hearts regularly. It's got to be seriously looked at. And say, look, there's a problem here.
They saved them recently with Brayshaw and the team that got him, and Brayshaw's brother that got him back financially and stopped them going anywhere and merging and all that sort of shit. But Jesus, you can't keep going back to the well. Emotionally, you can't keep going back.
They're going back to Tasmania.
When do you think the last time was that we saw a club
Fitzroy
fail this much?
Got to be Fitzroy. Or maybe Brisbane Bears.
I think the Brisbane Bears were what do you call it? Their first
starter
club, so that's sort of almost expected, especially in a non-AFL state. So, Fitzroy, I guess that's probably...
That was it, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
And what happened to them?
Well, what happened when, you guys would know this, I wasn't obviously born, but when South Melbourne Swans became Sydney Swans, why did that happen?
They needed to break into the Sydney market.
Oh, is that really?
I think that was
not because they were performing shit house.
I don't think they were world killers.
They weren't successful.
They were sort of low to middle of the road. And then they moved them up there, and they had Edelson throw shitloads of cash in.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah, Edelson came in, put money in, and they bought players from everywhere to make them successful.
Remember when Melbourne was shit house? When
Gutnick, Joe Gutnick took over.
Yeah, Gutnick, that's it. So
right.
they were struggling
Diamond
just financially.
Joe. They struggled for a while.
Because they were going to merge Hawthorn and Melbourne at one stage.
Yeah, that's
they were talking about merging Collingwood and Fitzroy.
Really?
Early.
Yeah.
It was actually a takeover.
Yeah.
From who?
Collingwood.
We took Gary Pert and we took a couple other players.
Fair enough.
We took their best players.
Yeah. But so I guess what about you,
disappointing?
Coach?
Other disappointing.
Yeah, you've got valid opinions, Coach. Where's your disappointment?
How do you reckon Gold Coast went this year?
I think
over or
I'm
under?
not going to say disappointed, but I really felt that Fremantle should have won that last game. I think that that's something that
How'd that go with Gold Coast? Or?
Sorry?
Did you say Gold Coast or Fremantle?
Fremantle.
Oh, right. You've changed topic.
Fremantle.
Okay, no worries.
No,
Thanks,
you're talking
Coach.
about it's not about a club. I'm not going to say not a matter of that they're disappointed, but I really think they should have gotten through.
Oh,
Fremantle.
Yeah.
Against us.
but I think Mark asked a question about Gold Coast, didn't he?
No.
This is
You
confusing.
said your
Mark,
question was.
I said,
no,
how
but-
did you think
Pants.
Gold Coast went?
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah.
This is
I thought you
confusing.
asked me a
No.
question.
How did they underachieve or overachieve?
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
This is awkward on the
I
camera.
think Gold Coast has achieved exactly what they could have. I don't think they could have
That's
done
a
any
very
more.
good answer. I agree with that.
Could not have done any more.
I think the Gold Coast probably had a better season than last year, I reckon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were disappointing.
But what do you think?
No, I didn't say that. But you said they couldn't have gone any further.
What do you think they're?
but I'm not disagreeing with this. This is my opinion.
I'll take it.
I'm allowed to have them.
Yeah, are we allowed to have them?
Breathe, mate. Breathe.
So what do you think that what has changed in that club? And clearly, Stuart Dew hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Stuart Dew's still a fat piece of shit.
Just see him on the front bar?
Oh my,
Funny, man.
He's huge.
I
I
just-
know I'm a fat guy, but Jesus.
I just think maybe some of their players are starting to mature a bit more.
Yeah.
Look at Tuke Miller.
Tuke Miller, yeah.
You know,
I'd
like
say that.
he's
He's a
been
jet.
around for a while and now
He's a
he's
jet.
just cut. So I think,
But
I
do you-
just think that's probably they're starting to mature now as a club.
I don't think. I could be wrong here, but did they get butchered like GWS did?
Yeah, they lost a lot of players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have.
Yeah, well, Tom Lynch left. They lost a lot of
So do you think that would affect them?
Oh, 100%.
Their
Yeah,
growth?
yeah. Retaining players is the hardest thing for them in GWS.
But they haven't been butchered for a couple of years. I
No,
don't
no,
think
they've
so.
had
So I
all.
think-
They actually took a strong stance and said, if you're contracted, you're staying. And they actually called out players who were talking about leaving, and they called them out. So it changed. And Stewie Dew, and a little bit of a win too. It changes the culture when you win a little bit,
Yeah.
and you've got a coach you connect with, and you start to win games. Like you can't help but players say there's something going on here.
Yeah.
They got King in the forward line. I
They
know
got
you heard yourself earlier
Casbolt
on.
as well. Casbolt.
Casbolt came down.
He's
From
pretty.
Carlton.
He's pretty good up there.
What do you reckon it is then? What do you reckon it is about the Gold Coast? Is it just where they are, the culture?
I think it's hard to
just
fight.
like they don't-
Brisbane,
like-
how do you compete against the Lions?
I just
look-
think they're a young club. That's all it is. Like I said, their players have got to mature. Build a foundation.
They're also saying
Bit
location.
of a history of the club too. Hey,
Location's tough in the Gold Coast. They say that's really
Surely
difficult.
everyone wants to go to the Gold Coast, where we all go.
yeah,
It's
it's too,
holiday.
it's too
You go to
fucking
the
hot,
holiday.
too fucking hot to play
You don't
footy.
go. You don't go to the live. You
Yeah,
go to the holiday.
that's
That's
true.
the issue.
That's true. But when you're on six figures,
Oh,
I think
happy
you
days.
Fucking go and live there, no problem.
Absolutely. But Brisbane too. Brisbane, I think, disappointed as well this year. So the two teams in Queensland, I think, of the two, Gold Coast, I think, probably nose ahead as far as, I guess, the way they handled themselves throughout the year.
Yeah.
I think Brisbane let themselves down badly in a lot of games. That
yeah, I think,
Danaher
yeah.
kid, let me tell you,
Yeah.
he is so one-dimensional.
Yeah, he's a fan.
Oh, my God. I hope they're not
think-
paying him a lot
Give
of
up.
money.
Give up.
I think with
700
Brisbane,
million, I think.
their disappointment wasn't so much where they finished the year. It's like you said, throughout the year, they just lost games by a lot and looked shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose
At
faith in
times
that.
they didn't look good.
Yeah.
Is probably more the point because they made a prelim.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not too bad. So we made a prelim as well.
Yeah.
But they just seemed to get there harder.
Yeah.
And throughout the year lost by
In saying that, we won how many? 11 games with fucking less than a goal.
Yeah,
So,
that's
well, I don't know what's harder, but
yeah, but I'd rather fucking do that than lose 5
Shit
games
you
by
shouldn't.
10 goals or something.
And they've got a gun midfield.
Yeah.
They got a couple
Yeah.
of really strong forwards. Got, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense that they capitulate like that.
But do you agree that to me when I watch them play, they don't look like a team. They look just like a bunch of individuals.
yeah.
You know,
and that's a problem, right?
It almost looks like they're all playing different type of game, and then every now and then they all play the same type, and that's when
Yeah, and they fire.
they're good. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's my observation.
So-
I don't watch too many Brisbane games, but yeah.
So before we take a break, what is our thoughts on 2023? And I'll start with you, Ada. What do you think the teams? What do you think the top three would look like?
Geez, I don't know. I think Geelong will be there again. Sydney, I reckon, would be up top three. I reckon Freo.
Really?
I reckon Freo will improve on this year.
Okay.
I don't know. The Pies will probably be up there too, but top three, I reckon
Top three, Mag call. You got to put a trifecta on. What do you do?
Geelong, Collingwood, Freo.
Ooh. Okay, we've got this on video and recording, so we'll keep you to that.
Oh no, can we?
Coach, what do you
Coach,
reckon?
you're
Top
up.
three. Commit to a
Top
trifecta.
three. Yeah, okay, top three. Collingwood, Geelong, and sorry, Mark, Carlton.
Tell me, man.
All right, Pants.
Geelong, I think Geelong, well and truly, and I reckon even the Swans again, they got a lot of young kids, and if they just hang on to them, they'll just keep being strong. And I don't know how Melbourne didn't stay up there this year, but I just reckon Melbourne will be there as well. And I hope we do. I'd love us to be there, and we might finish fourth again.
But 3 or 5 teams?
3.
Yeah, no, Jesus.
Speaking of the microphone, mate.
Yeah.
3 or 5.
Is this the first time you've done this?
Amateurville.
Yeah. You? What about you?
So for me, I think the Pies will be in top 3. I think the Baggers, as much as I hate them, I think the Baggers will be up there. So I would say Collingwood, the Baggers, Blues, and
the Baggers and the Blues.
Oh, the Blue Baggers, I should say. And I think we're all common here where we say the Cats. I think the Cats are quite strong.
Yeah, you're right.
So that on that, guys, let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening for this episode of Left, Right, and Somewhere in Between. We'll be back shortly. Take care.
You can wave now.